It feels like forever since I've done my What a Who Might joking. It has been forever since I did a book show. And frankly, they're really kind of hard to produce for me, and I don't have a whole lot of time to do them, so this is the more pared down, less edited version. So here we go. Blackbirds by Chuck Wendig. It's got the kind of cover that makes readers go, ooh, I want to read that, but it makes authors go, fuck you, Chuck Wendig. How did you rate? Look at this, seriously. How? The other problem with Blackbirds is that the insides are also amazing. I've had to call in some favors with black magic practitioners. That feeling in your stomach right now, Chuck? Culebras. That's right. It's no secret that I love me some bitchy protagonists, and Miriam Black, the gritty anti-heroine of Blackbirds, definitely falls into that category. I fell in love with the way she left track marks all... I said track marks, not skid marks. That's extra. No, seriously, she's unpleasant. And I love that about her. And what I think that Wendig does so well with this book is something that doesn't happen a whole lot in urban fantasy, is that he keeps the tone very, very dark. Almost to the point of hopelessness. It doesn't follow along with the idea of a traditional hero. It asks the reader to be complicit in this tone of apathy about the world. Miriam's view is very dark and grim. It's something that's, I think, very refreshing. A genre that has a tendency to become very milquetoast and romantic. Not that there's anything wrong with a little romance. Even Miriam gets hers in this one. Not a lot, though. Did I mention the blood? I think what's interesting about the villains in Blackbird, there's not a big schism between them and the heroine. They're all kind of, it's like when bad things happen to bad people. Just like in real life. The story ticks along like a stopwatch at the end of some pedophilic PE teacher's arm. It's pretty quick. That simile might be objectionable. Oh well. And for all those reasons, I'm gonna give Blackbirds by Chuck Wendig 5 nasty purple window splats with the seeds. Yeah, definitely with the seeds. Earlier this year, I fell into something that could only be called a reading slump. I was kind of bored. I would pick up books, put them down, and it just wasn't happening. And so I went to the library and thought I would just take a look and see what they had. And I came across this Lucky Day book. It was a sticker. It was the sticker that drew me in. And I thought, Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter? Will you make this a lucky day for me? And he did, actually. This book really renewed my interest in literary fiction, and while that may seem like a dry read, this was really very, very fun. It jumps in time and in setting from a small coastal village in Italy, where a small hotel owner, not the owner, the hotel is small, runs into a dying actress, and the story kind of steamrolls from there. There is a writer who is trying to get a film made about the Donner Party. There's this really shady film producer and his assistant who are very Hollywood. Their story is probably the most fun, while the story that takes place in Italy is both romantic and sort of disturbing. It's a great read. The writing is absolutely beautiful. The handling of the multiple POVs is insane. It's just beautifully managed. It also got me thinking about the thematic device that runs through books, and this one in particular, in regards to ruins and ruined generations and things like that. A line really stuck with me, one of the characters being brought up in this cocoon of over-affection, and it just sort of reminded me of the way how parenting has gone to rewarding the mediocrity of children so that when they get older, they don't understand why no one gives a shit. Never-ending cycle of not being able to hang on to jobs and things like that because they're not, it's depressing, really. But the book isn't. This is what I'm saying. I'm gonna give Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter 5 fast food job applications. Which brings us to the first young adult book on my list, which is I Hunt Killers by Barry Liga. This one actually, it really surprised me. I had not read a Barry Liga book before. I believe I do have The Astonishing Adventures of Fanboy and Goth Girl on my shelf, but I haven't gotten to it yet. This tells the story of Jazz, who is the son of a well-known serial killer, and has some of those traits himself because it's kind of been bred into him and through lots of like instruction by his dad, which is all very creepily handled in the book. I wouldn't call it a horror book per se. It does have a pretty strong mystery core, and there are elements to it that can be seen as horrific. It's definitely suspenseful, and there's some humorous qualities to it. I really, really enjoyed it. Also, it has like this amazing cover, which, damn him. Damn Barry, blood splattered. It's actually, it's pretty cool. Whatever. It has sort of a Dexter feel to it, Dexter light maybe. Though it does go to some places that are very dark and grim and gruesome, and I commend him for that. In fact, I give I Hunt Killers 5 stars. Obviously, I don't know why I keep rating these books. They're the best of 2012. I give Barry Liga's I Hunt Killers 5 rusty scalpels. I don't even think there are rusty scalpels in the book. I don't remember. Going back to adult and horror for a moment is John Horner Jacobs' This Dark Earth, which was a really sort of an interesting take on the zombie genre. It doesn't feel like it covers a whole lot of new ground, but there's an element of further decay that really adds to the urgency of the book. Should I give it away? Should I give it away? Maybe. Something happens after the initial zombie apocalypse, which really heightens the tension and puts an additional level of decay that I haven't seen in other books. In fact, I don't recall the sort of the worrisome quality of it since seeing movies like Threads or The Day After, which probably gives away what happens pretty early on in this book. The characters are really interesting. It's a pretty fast-paced read. It is set in like some backwoods parts of the South, which is a new take. And where the story ends up is really interesting. And this is another one of those that has a really great graphic cover. I give This Dark Earth 5 tactical nukes. I can't call it my best book of the year. Beautiful Ruins was an amazing book, and I kind of love it. And when I think of it, I'll think of it very fondly all the time. But The Fault in Our Stars by John Green was definitely the book that caused me to fugly cry the most. I was bawling, and it was hideous. If you don't know the premise of this book, I don't know what to do for you. It's probably been talked about more than any other YA book on BookTube, and it's all over Goodreads, and so basically, yeah, it's a cancer book, but it's the cancer book for people who hate cancer books. It doesn't really go where you expect it to go. I hear the criticism that John Green writes young adults like they were adults and pretty wordy adults. I'm absolutely fine with that. I just think he likes to write about a specific type of kid. You know, the sort of the brainy kid who gets a lot of pop culture references and loves to talk that way. And I remember being that kind of a kid, and I know that those kids still exist. The criticism really falls on deaf ears here at the Marks household. I loved it. I love The Fault in Our Stars. I recommend that everyone read. I give The Fault in Our Stars by John Green 5 tragic amputations. Because that's just the way I am. And because I can, because it's my book show, I'm going to throw in 2 honorable mention books. One by my good friend Gretchen McNeil, 10, which is a reimagining of Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. And The Hunt by Andrew Fukuda, which was a recommendation from my good friend Rochelle Mead. Thank you, Rochelle. This was amazing. I was really hesitant, frankly, to read another vampire book. But there was something about the voice of this one, and the pacing was really quick. It's actually a pretty short book, so you can get through it pretty quickly. I really liked it. Gretchen's book also is a pretty quick read. It is very fast-paced. There's a body count. I like a body count. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, these are all in here. These are books. These are books you might like. Enjoy them. Pick them up. Yeah.